Hello there, this is Chef Heat and Serve, and I am about to show you how to make a sourdough starter. Not as if you couldn't get all this information anywhere online, especially in this COVID-19 quarantine, but I told somebody I would do this, and I'm going to do it because I said so. So, Sourdough Starter 101, my internationally unknown recipe. First of all, before I do that, I want to show you what we're looking for, the end result. This is a sourdough starter that's mature. You can see the bubbles. You can see that it's a pretty fair amount of starter in there. That's probably going to be about half a cup or 3/4 of a cup when it's all smashed down. But you can see what it's supposed to look like. Those bubbles tell us that the natural yeasts in the flour are fermenting. They're letting off gas. This is mostly whole wheat flour, mostly all-purpose flour, if not all-purpose flour, so there's going to be some gluten in there that traps the gas, that causes all this stuff to rise like that. And that's what it's supposed to look like when you're ready to use it. So, one little parenthetical pause here. I want to let you know that I'm told that a lot of people name their sourdough starters. These things, when they're taken care of, can last for a lifetime. I can actually hand them down to your kids if you're like me, and you're probably going to spend everything you have before you die. At least you'll have a sourdough starter. Anyway, I'm going to call this one Bubbles. Okay, this one's Bubbles. All right, now, sourdough 101. First off, I have approximately 50 grams of warm water, and I have approximately 50 grams of a mixture of whole wheat and all-purpose flour. The reason I use whole wheat is because there's a whole lot more of the gizmos in whole wheat flour than there is in all-purpose flour, and this is going to get your sourdough starter off to a quick start. So, watch. I'm going to dump it, and I'm going to dump it. Approximately 50 grams of each. I'm going to give this a stir, and I'm going to get this all pasty and nice. And you can see that this container is a lot bigger than the amount of sourdough starter I have in here. And this is brand new, so what we're going to do with this is just make sure that all the flour is wet, everything's mixed up and all gooey and stuff. And this is going to have a lid put on it. You can use a paper towel. You can use a coffee filter with a rubber band, or a paper towel with a rubber band. You can put plastic wrap on it if you want to, if you have a fancy lid like I do. That's going to go right on top of there, and it's going to sit in my oven. And the reason it is because I live in the mountains of Colorado, and I keep my house at about 67, 68 degrees. This will thrive at about 90 degrees. So, in order for this to succeed, I want it to be nice and cozy and warm. So I turn the light on in my oven, and I'm going to stick that bad boy right in here. By the way, I pre-named this, and this is named Jane. There you go. For you, Jane. Alright, this is going in the oven, and it's going to sit there for 24 hours. And at the end of 24 hours, I'm going to feed it. So I'm going to show you how to feed it, and I'm going to take this mature sourdough starter, and I'm going to mash it all down, get all the bubbles out of it. And this has, oh my gosh, the consistency of this, I don't even know what to tell you. It's just nice and good, just like that. I love it. And I'm going to take all of this out, but about a 1/4 cup. You're going to want to do this to your sourdough starter after 24 hours. Your sourdough starter, depending on the kind of flour, the kind of water, and the temperature that you should keep it at, it's going to take about 3 or 4 days to be mature. Alright? So what you're looking for after the first 24 hours, you're just going to feed it. You're not going to expect too much out of it because Jane's just a baby, and she's just going to start to grow up. So I've taken all of it out except about a 1/4 cup, and to feed it, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to grab a cup, a half a cup of unbleached all-purpose flour. Again, I'm going to use unbleached. Not that you can't use bleach, but bleaching takes out a lot of the gizmos that make this work. I say the word gizmos, and I could get technical and tell you all the technical terms, but if you're like me, when you want a recipe, you don't want to read a novel, you just want to get right down to business. And sourdough starter is kind of like TV. You can understand it or you don't have to understand it. Either way, it all works. So I'm going to take the short road. I put 1/4 cup of starter, 1/2 cup of flour, and just a hair shy of a 1/2 cup of warm water. That simple. I'm going to mix what I just poured into there with the 1/4 cup of sourdough starter that I left in there, and I'm going to cover it. And in 12 hours, if I leave it out, this is going to need to be done all over again. However, if you're like me, I don't like to waste stuff. So, and I'm not planning on using this anytime in the very near future. So I'm going to put it in the refrigerator after about an hour. I want to give that natural yeast in there an opportunity to work into the mixture that I just poured in there. So I'm going to let it sit out for about an hour and let it start its business. And then I'm going to cover it and I'm going to put it in the refrigerator. And by doing so, I only have to do this once a week instead of twice a day. All right, now, important to say that when you get ready to use this and you want to make something, you're going to have to take it out about 2 days ahead of time. Bring it up to warm temp, bring it up to 90 degrees in your oven or where in your house or wherever you can, and start feeding it twice a day until you get that original nice puffy bubbly starter that I showed you in the beginning. Alrighty, now again, one last thing before I take off. This is what I took out. This is called the discard. And as I said, I don't like to waste stuff, so I'm going to put a lid on this. I'm going to put it in the refrigerator, and tomorrow, or for breakfast, I'm going to put a butter in a skillet, and I'm going to put all this leftover discard starter, and I'm going to fry it like a big pancake. And I'm going to smother it with butter. I'm going to eat a little bit and throw the rest out to the birds because I'm on a keto diet and I can't eat all those carbohydrates. But when it comes to sourdough bread, I'm telling you what, this is the way to do it. God bless you.